see. Hello, guys. Hello. If you guys are not new, meaning that you guys are from the original Vibe Tribe, guys, I postponed yesterday's live for today because mommy duties were calling me, and I had to take care of my little man. All right. If people aren't able to join today's live, that's perfectly fine too. I know that I normally have it on Fridays. So if you were unable to join, but you're able to catch it on the stream, then listen, don't worry about it. All right, guys, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be on for a little bit. Hi, Stella. Hi, sweetheart. How are you feeling? I'll be on for a little bit. Yesterday, my son really wanted to go to Build-A-Bear. He wanted me to get him something from Build-A-Bear, so I had to, guys. I had to. I love being here with you guys, but got to be a mommy first, right? And so I just decided to move it to today. We didn't have any group meetings today or anything like that, no sessions. So I said, you know what, let's meet for today. So hopefully the normal group will be here, but if not, anybody who's new to the channel, anybody who's browsing through, this is a live chat for survivors of narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse. Okay, any questions you may have, please feel free to ask away. And, just to sit here and talk, speak with survivors. There were actually a couple of things that I did want to talk about. Stella, okay, I'm glad you're doing all right though. I'm glad you're doing okay. Please be, be safe. And I know, guys, that we have, we're transitioning with this whole COVID thing, and I know that, it's, we're not fully in the clear. So, if you're traveling, if you're going places, please be careful, because it is, definitely, it's still out there, guys. It still is, okay? Whether you're vaccinated or not, please be careful. Let's give me 1 second. But so yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna timestamp this live when it streams, because I know again, I postponed. It was kind of at the last minute, but it was all for good reason. And but I did want to talk about a couple of things today. And again, hey Ty, sweetheart. I wanted to actually I wanted to start this off with talking about the most common thing that I've been getting a lot of inquiries on, which is the rumination. Hi, Cicely. Hi, sweetheart. The rumination. Okay, a lot of people, whether it be weeks, months, even possibly years after a discard, a lot of people have struggles with the rumination, with constantly thinking about the narcissistic person who was in their life, the narcissistic people who were in their lives, and they have the problem with, I don't want to think about this person, but I can't help but think about this person. It's never easy, especially when you've gone through a discard. Hey, official. Hi, sweetheart. It's yeah, Ty. I had to I had a little man. He wanted me to take him somewhere yesterday, and I couldn't say no. I had to do it. I had to. But he got what he wanted. He's happy, and I'm here with you guys today. I'm happy. So we're all happy. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the rumination, because people still struggle with that part. They struggle with the idea of, why is it that I'm still thinking about the person? Why is it that I haven't let the person go? And as many times as I've said it before, guys, after a discard, when you're going through your healing stages, Remember, one, you're not in love with the person. Rumination does not mean being in love with the person. It does not mean that you want to be with the person. Rumination is still holding on to the person that you thought they were. And this is pretty much where your brain and your heart are really at war with one another. They're really struggling with one another because, your brain is trying to feed you the logic of the situation. It's trying to tell you, listen, this is the way it is. This is who they are. And you need to accept that. But your heart is pretty much trying to tell you, have a heart. Be sympathetic, be empathetic to them and any situations they have gone through or anything they've gone through in their life. Don't you remember the good times that you two had together? They weren't really a bad person. They were just dealing with certain things and struggling with certain things. And the heart can be pretty treacherous, guys. It could be very, very treacherous. It can have you thinking that you're still in love with that person. It can have you thinking that you still want to be in that dynamic with that person. And we know that being in that dynamic means continuing with the abusive behaviors. Maybe they didn't physically put their hands on you. Maybe they didn't hit you. They didn't, smack you around or anything like that. But their actions were abusive, abuse of control, manipulation, trying to control you by exploiting your fears, trying to, maneuver around you with gaslighting you and breadcrumbing you, causing, cognitive dissonance, causing dissociation. These are the things that we have to take into account. And I often tell people, because I do have people who do reach out to me and, want to, they want to move on from the situation, but sometimes they feel like they can't, and often people who don't move on from the situation, they, end up going back to the person, or they end up saying, something, I'm the one who's flawed. I'm the one who has the issues. Maybe I was the one who was wrong. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I was the one who was, because listen, at the end of the day, what we got to understand, and a lot of you already know this, so this is more primarily for people who catch it on the stream and who are new to the channel. One of the things you got to understand is this much. You're human. I'm human. We're all human. And we all make mistakes in our lives. We make mistakes in our relationships. We do err. We're flawed people. Narcissistic people, they exploit those mistakes. They hold those mistakes against you. And it pretty much warrants them and their behaviors. It warrants them to commit the acts that they commit. It pretty much pushes them in the driver's seat in their mind. It pushes them in the driver's seat to say, well, you screwed up in certain aspects of our relationship. So because I'm not going to discard you right away, or I'm not going to, get rid of you right away, or, do what it is I do, which is let my mask fall right away. I'm going to hold that against you. I'm going to use what it is you have done. I will constantly throw it in your face if you ever point out any flaws within me or anything that I do wrong. And them being with you, here's one thing I've learned. Them being in a relationship with you, even if you make a mistake or if a misunderstanding happens, you think, okay, this person is going to stay with me. They're giving me the benefit of the doubt. No, they're not doing that. They're not giving you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, because in their mind, even though you may have screwed up, you may have slighted them, you may have done something, or it could have been clearly a misunderstanding, they're going to hold that over your head. And that gives them ammunition to do whatever it is they want throughout your relationship. And if you ever catch them in the act, if you ever, bring inconsistencies or discrepancies to their attention, if you ever tell them anything that goes against what it is they want or what it is they do, they will pretty much use whatever it is you had done, whatever misunderstanding there was, they will pretty much use that as ammo against you. And you guys know how that goes when you guys get into an argument with them, or if you get into a really bad, shouting match with them. You never win in those situations. They're going to make sure that you know that you're going to lose. And each and every time when they get aggressive, they get hostile, they get volatile, what do? They're pushing you in the corner. They're pushing you in the corner, and they're pretty much, they got you, feeling like a little child, like, okay, I'm sorry, I give up. You're right, I'm wrong. Can we just stop fighting? That's how they operate. That's how they move. So though you think they're giving you the benefit of the doubt, no, they're just racking things up. They're out there doing what it is they want to do. They're out there being who it is they are. And if you catch them in the act of anything, they have ammunition to hold it against you. And we're going to couple that with deflection, because at the end of the day, even if you did anything in your relationship that never would have even warranted their behaviors, they're clearly going to deflect it onto you. A relationship with a narcissistic person, a person who suffers NPD, is a one-sided relationship. And that is a relationship that is doomed to fail, no matter which way you look at it, no matter which way you go, no matter, whether you go up or down, it does not matter. It's doomed to fail, because they will make sure that either A, they will sabotage the entire relationship, because we know this, guys, right? They either get bored easily, or you're finding way too many inconsistencies, and you rejecting them, you discarding them, that triggers their rejection wound. They can't have that. We know that. They can't be rejected. So what do? They will go and pretty much set everything up to reject you first, to discard you first. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to make sure. Hi, Sergio. I'm so happy to see you guys here today. Sergio, I ignored so many red flags, starting with her mom. That's usually where it starts. Like, female narcissists, a lot of them are trained by their mothers. A lot of them are trained by their mothers because, I mean, listen, can their fathers be narcissists? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Their fathers can be. But if you really, really look at it, their resentment towards men, because these females, they are attracted to men, yes. They do whatever they have to do to get what they can out of men, yes. They're users, yes, but they resent them at the same time. Okay, this is just, them being a contradiction. They resent them at the same time. It could be because of the fact that maybe their father was passive aggressive and the mother was very aggressive and very abusive. And she saw her father as being extremely weak. Okay. Men can be enablers. Men can be codependents in that narc codependent relationship. Okay. That could be a possibility. Her mom, more than likely, implanted that, that information, those seeds in her mind. And you got to remember that a female narcissist is the extension of her narcissistic parent. So if it was her mom projected all of her ideals onto her. She projected her perception of men onto her. So if her mother saw that these men, men are weak, men are useless, men are, they're not worthy of her. They're, they should just be used and, for whatever it is they have, and that's it. Then she more than likely is going to push that onto her daughter. Okay. And she's going to push her daughter to become completely emotionally avoidant, not really constructing any kind of meaningful relationship with men. And she's just basically going to be on the prowl. She's walking with the mentality of, you men ain't shit. You guys are nothing, and I'm just here to get what I can out of you, and then I'm out. You got to look at it this way too, guys. If you're dealing with someone who is emotionally unavailable, it's a lot of work to keep someone who is emotionally and readily available. That's a lot of work. And they want to make sure it's worth their time. They want to make sure that they're going to get what they can get out of it. All right. If these people don't even put in the work genuinely, but they manage to fake a whole relationship with you for, a year, 10 years, 20 years, what have you, that means that they really saw something that you had. They saw something in you that you could provide to them, and they found the work, the effort to put into that work of manipulation and creating a false reality for you. They found it worth it because they knew in the end they were going to get something out of you. And the one thing I commonly tell men, I tell men this all the time, especially a lot of the guys who come to me for sessions and who even send me emails. You got to understand something about women. Women can sense certain things, okay? Women can sense certain things. Today's society utilizes women to sell things. They utilize women's sex appeal to sell things, okay? It's a buyer's market, and women are the main, you're always going to catch them on the main cover of everything. Okay, women have been exploited for God knows how long. And no, I'm not saying that they have not done an equal job of exploiting themselves, because they have. But because of the exploitation, a lot of them are like, well, screw it. I might as well get what I can out of it and use what I have. You're dealing with the kind of woman, and you're going to have two types. You're always going to have two types of everything, because just like there's good, there's always going to be bad. You're dealing with the kind of woman who knows that she gets attention, who knows that she can probably, out of a group of dudes, probably get any one of them, right? So if she managed to choose you, you feel, ecstatic. You feel privileged. And the minute you show a woman this, you show a woman, oh, I'm honored to be in your life. I'm honored to be here with you. You're already putting her on that pedestal. She can run with that. All right. I said it before. A woman can tell when a man is insecure. A woman can tell when a man is, because it's a little different the other way around. Women, can hide things better. Women can hide things better. Women can be very stoic. Okay. They can they can fake humility, but they can be very stoic too. They can sit there and just be completely cold. And I believe that a lot of the time when you have a woman, because society has us as, we're supposed to be emotionally available, we're supposed to be empathetic and nurturing and caring. So when you're dealing with the kind of female, and I think this is common for a lot of men, when you're dealing with the kind of female that's completely the opposite of what it is that you hear about, or what it is that society puts them out to be, you kind of find her as a challenge. You find her as a challenge, and then what you end up trying to do is you end up trying to prove yourself to her without her even having to prove herself to you. You end up proving yourself to her, and not knowing what kind of woman she truly is, she can pretty much go, you give her the windows to your soul, and she can pretty much grab whatever she wants out of it and take it out. And because you are so enamored, you're so amazed by her, a lot of you, I mean, listen, I don't know how the women look, the women that you dealt with, but a lot of the time female narcissists are known to being like the femme fatales, the very beautiful women, the exotic type of women. And they're the kind of women that, like the song says, that girl is poison, right? So when you guys give a woman more without her actually having to work for it, because you've already put her on the pedestal, initially put her on the pedestal because you just felt honored to be in her presence, because you felt, damn, she could have had any other guy in this room, but she chose me. She already knows that you are willing to do anything for her. She knows that you're willing to go to the ends of the earth for her. And because of the fact that she's being very stoic and very distant, that intrigues you even more. Those are the ones that you have to be careful of. Okay. And the reason I say that is because this is where you need to use discernment. Because when you have a woman who's being very emotionally distant, they're either narcissistic, they're manipulative, they're playing games with you, or they're the kind of woman who has been hurt and is in fear of loving. There are two different types of women in this situation. This is where you have to use your intuition on which is which. Women know when men are insecure. We know when you don't feel like a man, when you don't feel like you're manly enough, or even in that moment. We know these things. We can feel these things. And you're going to have the kind of woman that either exploits your insecurities, or she's going to, help you to understand that there's no reason, there's no need to be insecure. So the woman knows that, let's say you're the jealous type, right? And not by nature. It's not by nature. We're not jealous by nature, but because you've been through some stuff. You've been through some stuff in your life. She knows that you're, kind of insecure and you can get jealous. What is she going to do? Is she going to reassure you? You dealt with a narcissistic type female. Clearly, she did not reassure you. She pretty much used your insecurities against you. How could you think like that about me? How can you say that I'm doing A, B, and C when it's clearly showing in her actions, but she's not coming flat out and she's not, saying it to you directly? She may try to triangulate you. She may try to get your attention by telling you, oh, I was at the office today and there were like, 3 guys there that wanted my phone number. Why would she tell you something like that? Why would she tell you something like that, knowing that you have maybe trust issues, or knowing that, you feel a certain type of way, or you would feel a certain type of way? Why would she share that information with you? If she didn't want to have some kind of reaction out of you, or she didn't, want you to say something that could spark an argument, so then she can, later tell you, oh, you're crazy, you're insecure, I can't deal with men who are insecure. Why are you getting angry? Why are you getting upset? Come on. Hi, Robert. Yeah, Stella, you dealt with female psychopaths. It's sociopaths and psychopaths. They go to the more extremes than narcissists do. Okay. Am I going to say that narcissists are not as dangerous? They can be. They can be. There are probably other factors that play the role in that too, because a lot of the time people tend to, they tend to look at narcissism as, well, when people say, oh, well, don't throw the term narcissism all over the place. Don't throw the term narcissism all over the place, because listen, let's face facts on something, okay? Look at the way society is right now. Let's look at everything the way it is right now. Narcissism plays a very big role. People can be narcissistic. Not every single person who posts up a picture, who posts up a video, or, who has, tons of pictures of themselves are narcissists. No, that's not what we're saying. But people are more capable of being narcissistic, even if it's for the moment, even if it's for that moment, at that precise moment. But the people who are creating the awareness and who are actually talking about it are the people who've been in relationships with people who either suffer NPD or have committed narcissistic abuse against them. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating. Don't focus on the labels, because someone does not have to be a narcissist to perform narcissistic abuse on someone. They can be a narcissistic person, someone who is not diagnosed with NPD, and their behaviors are very similar. They run along the lines of a narcissist. It's derivative of a narcissist. Okay? They can have people in their lives who've been in their lives, who've influenced their lives to the point that they've picked up those bad behaviors and they performed it on other people. That can be the case too. Yes, Lisa says, just exactly, focus on the behavior, focus on the patterns, focus on patterns. Narcissistic people rely on their patternist behaviors, okay? If Tommy got love bombed by his narcissistic ex, but Christina didn't get love bombed by her narcissistic ex, and mind you, they both dealt with a narcissistic person or a narcissist, people would veer more towards Tommy because he experienced love bombing and not Christina because she didn't experience. Not everyone experiences love bombing. You may not get the love bombing until, when they're trying to hoover you back in or in the midst of a trauma bond. You might not get that in the beginning of a relationship. Everyone needs to pay attention to the behaviors, pay attention to how they speak with you, pay attention to the patterns. If you already know the patterns of a narcissist or more or less how it is they do things, now granted, with all this awareness going on, better believe that they're going to now try different things. Okay, they're going to try to maneuver around things, okay, because everywhere you turn, there are more and more and more people creating, which is awesome because they're creating awareness about narcissistic patterns, behaviors, phrases, the different types, okay, and believe that with us becoming more aware, opening our eyes more, now that these people know that we are becoming more and more aware, especially the perpetrators who have lost their victims, completely, because a relationship with a narcissist is only over if you say it's over. Even if they discarded you, it's not over. Well, that person left me, so I guess it must be over. It's never over for them. If they can come back, you leave your door cracked open, or if you give them any kind of inkling that they can come back in, they will do it. They like to recycle, especially if you gave them a supply that, even if it was at one moment, at one point, put them on their high. Okay, it didn't even have to be the entire relationship. You could have just done something that put me at my utmost high and it made me feel good. And yeah, they ended up discarding you and going for someone else, going for something else. But with that incentive, they will always try to come back. Or if they don't find anyone who is willing to be a people pleaser like you were. See, this is the thing. Hi, Chief Keith, how are you? This is the thing. Narcissists, when they go for new supply, right? So when they're bouncing from that relationship that they were in with you, you guys already know the whole spiel of it, right? When they are pretty much in the discard phase, that they are breadcrumbing you, they're gaslighting you, they're keeping you at arm's length, so you don't know, so you don't see what's going on, so you can't see what they're doing behind your back, and all the while they're trying to have a passionate, loving, caring new beginning with someone else. All of this is being done behind your back, mind you. Trigger warning, because I know that there are some people who are still going through the beginning stages, but they're doing all of this with someone else or even possibly other people. Number one, they don't know for a fact that these other people will be a people pleaser like you were in your relationship. Okay? They don't know that for a fact. But here's the thing, they're not looking for anything long term. They know that you're the people pleaser. They know that you're the one who was sweet, who was kind, who was generous, who was giving, your all to them. They dilly-dally because it's something different. It's something because, if they got bored, maybe you were requiring for them to put in some more work, or maybe you were sitting there saying, something's not right about this. Something's not right. Okay? Something is not right, and we need to talk about this. They start seeing that, something, you're starting to see through certain things. So what do? Instead of being a man or being a woman and actually just saying what it is, something, this is what you want, I can't give it to you. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure even after all that time, I'm one who respects someone who just tells me, listen, I'm interested in someone else. I'm interested in finding out what's good with someone else. Don't breadcrumb me. Don't sit there and try to tell me I'm not trying to lead you on, but the reality is that you are leading me on. That's the problem that they have. They never intended on letting you go. They never intended on you leaving the dynamic. They never intended on all of these things. This is why they want to discard you first. They want to discard you first because they know that if you discard them, For whatever reason, you see through their bull, you're no longer trying to be a part of that toxic relationship, whatever the case may be. If you discard them, they know that it's over. They know that it is over. If you leave them, that's why they keep their cheating like behind the scenes. Okay? They keep their cheating behind the scenes. When it comes down to their friends are loyal to them. Their friends will always be loyal to them. Narcissists hang around the kind of people that either enable their behaviors because they're manipulated by them, or they're just as manipulative as they are. Okay? Because let's be honest here. I am one of those friends who's like this. If you are my friend, and yes, my loyalty is to you, but I see that you're doing something really shady and really grimy, that makes me an accomplice to what it is that you're doing, especially if that person didn't deserve it, if that person did not ask for it. Okay? I will put you in your place about it. You will not use my name to say, oh, well, I was at Erica's house. Meantime, you were cheating on that person. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I will not be an accomplice to grimy shit like that. Narcissists have friends that will do that. Okay? They will cover for them. They will cover for them. They will lie for them. They will pretty much tell you whatever the narcissist tells them to tell you, and they will vouch for them. They'll vouch for them. So just know that the kind of people you dealt with and the kind of friends they have, those friends were their friends before you even came into the picture. And if your friends ended up siding with them, ended up being friends with them and staying on that side, or even sitting on the fence between the two of you, your ex-friends, because that's what I'm going to call them, are their friends too. And you need to treat them the same way you would treat your narcissistic ex and their friends. Okay? There's a big difference, guys. At the end of the day, these people, their desires, their wants, their needs, they're bouncing around all over the place. It's all short-lived. Okay? They discard you, but it's not an official discard. That's why they attempt to hoover you back in. They may try to call you. They may call you from fake numbers. They may watch you from, fake social media profiles. They are the type of people, and that's another thing. Someone mentioned on my on one of my videos about the stalking, and they said, can we talk more about the stalking? Because the same narcissist person that she was dealing with, to this day, I think it was 7 years? She said 7 years, still stalking her, still watching her moves. They've been separated all that time, and they're still watching her because they can't handle the idea of the one who got away. The one who got away. You're the one who got away. But it's not that lovey-dovey romantic movie crap that you like to watch. It's not that. I don't watch romantic movies, guys. I'm not into that. But it's not like, oh, he's the one who got away. She's the one who got away. No, it's you're the one who fucking got away. Like literally got away with your life. You got away with your life. You got away with your sanity. You got away with your peace. You got away from all of that nonsense and decided not to deal with it anymore. Okay? When the day came that I decided to walk away, like completely shut down, I remember this day clear as day. I was coming from my job, my old job, and I was walking down. I mean, a lot of you may not be familiar with the streets out here in New York, but I was walking down the boulevard from my job, and I was in that rumination. I was in that addiction stage. I'm looking at his social media. I'm looking at the different people who were commenting and, the people that he was entertaining or what have you. And the day that I was heading towards my bus to go home is when I saw that some chick wrote something on the one of his pictures that was indicative of, we're talking behind the scenes. We're talking in private. Okay. And could I have messaged that person and said, I can't believe this. Like, how could you? They would have just lied to me. They would have just flipped it around. They would have cursed me out. They would have done all of that shit to make me feel bad, for, for actually confronting them about something I saw. And they would have told me, why are you, which he already had done that before, why are you looking through my shit? Why are you, even bothering? And just, would have cursed me out completely. I avoided that confrontation. And I just said, something, screw this. I'm done. I'm done. And that's when on my way home, I was sitting on the bus, and I remember it clear as day because this happened in the fall time and it was still kind of warm outside. And I was on the bus, I was deactivating my accounts because I knew that I was not going to be able to really break free or heal from anything if I continue to. And I heard about the whole no contact thing. You go no contact, which means that you either delete and block the person completely from your social media and block their phone number, change your number, whatever. And I was like, something, I'm just going to deactivate my accounts. And that was what I did. Deactivated my accounts. The one thing I did not do, which I should have done when I did all of that, was change my phone number. I did not change my phone number. And what ended up happening was, even after that whole ordeal, this person was still online doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. But the difference was Erica wasn't responding. Erica wasn't reacting. Erica was not messaging. Erica was not saying anything. And because I was not saying anything, because I was not reaching out to him, because I was not texting him or, staying stuck in that because I was serious about what my decision was going to be, that person didn't reach out to me. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure along those lines, though I deactivated my accounts, that person was talking to somebody else or even dealing with somebody else, possibly, seeing someone, thinking, oh, well, I can get what I got with Erica with this person. And little do they know, I'm not like other people. Other people are not like me. Okay? Not everybody in this world is going to be a people pleaser, guys. Not everybody in this world is going to be who you are. They may meet with someone who's just like them. And that's when they'll really see things for what it is. But I did all of that, and some time went by, and this person messaged me on my birthday, out of the blue, on my birthday. We had not spoken to each other in all that time. And I think, I can't speak for that person, but I can truly say, based off of the actions, that person saw that I was not fucking playing around. I was not playing around. Where I messed up, and this is why I tell you guys, the rumination part, it may be hard, and it's, but where I messed up was I maintained contact with that person for a little bit in that interim. Because for some reason, though I'm thinking I'm healing, I'm moving on, things are coming, things are going along good for me, I was completely wrong about it. It was too soon, way too soon. And that's when I ended the contact. I did message the person to meet with them because I was going to completely cut it, like just get my closure. But that didn't happen either. And there's a reason that didn't happen. That person wasn't going to give me closure. If I had seen that person face to face, more than likely they would have probably, and I probably would have fallen for it. They would have convinced me otherwise. Because I had no clarity. I didn't know what was going on. If I'd have met that person in person, that person probably would have convinced me otherwise. My feelings probably would have just been coming right back up, and I would have been feeling all those old feelings. So I would say some fluke of nature, but I say more than likely it was divinely orchestrated, that it wasn't supposed to happen that way. When I wanted to go meet with that person wasn't even around to meet with me physically. And right then and there, I took that as my sign. I got to let this shit go. And that's when I wrote up my letter. I changed my phone number. I mailed the letter out, and I said my piece. I said what I had to say. I was respectful. I could have cursed this person out. I could have done anything possible and wrote every bitter word on that piece of paper. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a reason why God wouldn't let me do it that way, because that person could have taken that letter And they could have ran it around showing people that I was a bitter person, that I was crazy and I was this and I was. So God was with me the entire time that I did it. It showed that I'm letting it go, no hard feelings, water under the bridge. And from that point on, I was healing. I was healing. I was pretty much starting over, starting new. Everything was working for me. Everything was just going in my favor. And because I managed to let it go, and I managed to let go of the toxicity and the hurt, not so much because I was still healing, but because I managed to release myself from that, literally, no lie, every little thing was working in my favor. Everything. You know what they say, when you let it go, you allow the room for your blessings to come in, right? I'm testimony to that because everything was going in my favor. So as God was healing me, he was simultaneously blessing me. And it was amazing. It truly was. Hi, Kareem. Yeah, well, my hair now that it's short, it definitely is more manageable for me. It looks more healthier, thankfully. It definitely but I don't use Pantene. I'm using Tresemme right now. Hi, Andrea. How are you, sweetheart? Yeah, Robert. That first dose of ease pain is the hardest, but it is possible to keep going without the closure. It's just draining. And I think that's the part where a lot of people get. I think that's the part where a lot of people just, they get stuck on, because the process is so draining. Because people, we can't, like, just like most people, listen, we don't like rejection. We don't like lack of clarity because it's like someone ghosting you, right? If someone ghosts you, you're sitting there driving yourself crazy, wondering, well, what the hell happened? What did I do? Did I do something? Or was it something I said? Was it something that I wore? It could be anything. And it drives people crazy. Lack of clarity drives people crazy. Manipulators know this. And because of the fact that they know this, if they see that they're not giving you clarity is pretty much driving you up a wall and it's making you like, oh God, you're questioning every little thing, they know they can get away with certain things. All they have to do is come back and be like, oh, you're crazy. I was just, you know, figuring myself out. I was just, you know, getting in tune with myself, becoming one with myself. It's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's all, listen, when I heard the let's take a break shit, oh, you know what, we need to just take a break. I'm like, yo, are you serious? Like, take a break from what? Take a break from what exactly? From the arguments that you start, from the toxicity that you have brought into this relationship? Because I have not done anything to warrant this type of behavior. Okay. And the mere fact that the person, because their insecurities, they let their insecurities really get in the way of everything. And they let their insecurities just like lead them to the point that they're talking to you like you're a child, like you're this small, like where you're looking at them like, who the hell are you talking to like that? Okay. Listen, someone tells me, let's take a break, fine. You could break from my house, okay? Leave the keys by the door and don't come back. I don't do breaks. That's one thing I don't do, guys. I don't do breaks. We either try to figure out what the problem is, and now that I have a whole new way of thinking, I'm not a people pleaser, okay? I've overcome 36 years of codependency, okay? There is no way I'm allowing anyone to interrupt my peace. So if you're not coming into my life to enhance my peace, the minute I see a red flag, you are out. And I don't even have to give you a 2-week notice. You're out. That's it. That is it. There is no question about it. You can sit there and ask me, well, why did you do this and why did you do that? Look in the fucking mirror and ask yourself that. I'm not allowing anyone, no one, to disrupt my peace. And I damn sure am not going to let someone who has gone through something with other people to take out on me the bull crap that they have gone through. Not going to happen. I'm not doing it. Oh, well, my ex did. Oh, then go take it to your ex. Go. Walk your little ass out the door and go take it to your ex. You're not bringing that shit into my house. You're not bringing that to me. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Oh, well, you remind me of my ex. Well, guess what? I'm going to continue reminding you of your ex. Get out. I'm not playing these games, man. I'm not playing any of those games. Nope. Nope. I'm not. Before, I would sit there and be like, but what did I do? But listen, okay, but right? But here's the thing. I'm not that person. And that person did it to you. I didn't do it to you. So stop thinking that I'm gonna, I've gotten to the point with my ex. I told him, when are you gonna get it through your head that I'm not here to screw you over? I said it straight like that. And all of this, I went through all of this for what? For you to go run back to your ex? The same one? Nah, man. Who the hell? Man, listen, I ain't dealing with that shit. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not. The next man who comes into my life, is going to put in some work. You're not going to just sit here like, oh, Erica's going to do for me because she's a sweetheart. Now, I'm a sweetheart by nature, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't play no damn games. And I'm not putting you on a high pedestal. That was the problem that we had, guys. You put people on a pedestal way before they even earned it. They never earned their pedestal. You just put it on there. They do a couple of nice things and then boom, all of a sudden they got their own damn pedestal. No. Okay, my pedestals are locked in the closet with a combination on it. Okay, and those are meant to be earned. That's it. Not walk into my life thinking, oh, well, I got a big or I got a big wad of money in my pocket, or I can do this and I can do that, or all these girls around me and everybody else wants me, but I chose you. Don't do me any favors. Please don't. Do not do me any favors. Okay? Because so as long as they make rubber toys, I don't need a man in my life. Straight up. Okay? Sorry for anybody who's got kids in the room. If you do, put your headphones in. Absolutely, Stella. Absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, you also got to look at how they are around their own family. Okay? How they are around their own family. Look at how they talk to them. Look at how they interact with them. Pay attention. Pay attention to how they are with their kids. Okay? Pay attention to what it is they do, around their children, how they speak around their children. You got to pay attention to a lot of these things because you got to think about it this way too. If you're dealing with someone who has a child or children, they're acting a certain way around their own kids, they're going to act the same way around yours. And the things that you would not put up with around your kids, though you cannot interfere with what their kids are about, you got to really draw the line there. You have to draw the line there. Okay? And majority of the time, if you're dealing with someone who is a narcissist or extremely narcissistic, you're dealing with someone who has people in their lives. They have people in their lives enabling that shit. These people would not exist the way they do. They wouldn't exist so damn hard if they did not have people enabling the toxic behaviors. And then for them to be who they are, so the family could also talk shit about them afterwards. It's like what a lot of like narcissistic parents do to their kids, when they're scapegoating them. If their kids end up failing in relationships, or if they end up, sabotaging the relationships, the same behaviors that were enabled in their family dynamic, their family is even going to sit there and be like, well, you always F things up. You're an F up. That's who you are. You understand? They enable those behaviors. And then when they screw up with other people, those same family members who enable them are the same ones who sit there calling them screw ups. She actually cussed out my mom. Nah, listen. I could have. I didn't. I never did. Because at the end of the day, even my ex's mom had demonstrated some like two-faced behavior, and at the end of the day, I just like I may be who I am, but I do know when to pick my battles. And I'm like, something. If I don't argue with my own mother, I'm not gonna argue with somebody else's mother. I'm not gonna do it. So, at the end of the day, that's when it boils down to situations that is your place, it's in your place to do it, to handle a situation, especially when it's your mother. That should have been given to you. If there was a problem, then that should have been given to you, and you pretty much sit and talk with your mother. That was the thing I never understood. If I say something, it was the same thing in my relationship. If I said something that I wanted to make sure and clarify, instead of this person just saying, I'm going to sit and have a talk with my mom, they tell me, oh, well, then you tell her, you talk to her about it. But that's not my place. That's really not my place. Like, how will I look going to somebody else's mother, sitting there questioning them and their motives? Isn't that kind of like, who would appreciate that? I don't think anybody would. Hi, Gil. Listen, guys, these people come from a very distorted way of thinking. They come from from family settings, from groups, from environments that pretty much push them into survival mode, and push them into I'm all about me, myself, my own needs, and that's just the way it's going to be. At the end of the day, I'd rather hurt you than you hurt me. That's what they do. That's what they do. And listen, your mom never liked her, then clearly, there is something there. There's something there. I see all these different types of relationships. I don't tell people what to do when it comes to their relationships and their in-laws. Me personally, if I'm dealing with someone, clearly, me personally, I never saw any reason why a mother wouldn't like me, because I'm treating your son with respect. I'm treating your son with love. Now, unless you have a personal agenda, or you have, a personal type of wicked plan that I'm interfering, and that's why you are trying to create a wedge between us, that's a different story, clearly, but that's on the other person's end. I personally, I personally looked at it as, I thought things were cool, but clearly they weren't, because she favored his ex. His mom favored his ex. And naturally, what I would get with regards to that is, well, she's been a part of the family for a long time. Yeah, but she's been emasculating you for how many years? So at the end of the day, which one is it? You understand? But when it deals with, again, someone else's mother, I'm not going to sit here and put your mother in her place. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you're wrong and you're this. That's not my place to do that. That's not my place to do that. Just like if someone had an issue with my mom or my dad, and they're like, listen, this happened, X, Y, and Z happened. Clearly, I would sit down with them and talk with them. I would talk with them, because if it's something reflective off of their behaviors, I would talk to them, or I would have the person sit with me and we would discuss the situation with them. But none of that, and do it in a professional way. You don't curse somebody's mother out. Okay, I never curse anybody's mother out. I'm not gonna sit here and curse, because at the end of the day, that's still someone's mom. But yeah, no, that's crazy. The ex-narc despised his mom, didn't speak to his sister or brother, and that's probably why, Stella, he had no respect for women. He had no respect for women. Narcissistic men have no respect for women because of their internal resenting feelings towards their mother, their father. what have you. They have no respect for women. So if he despised his mother, then chances are there was some type of, straining in that relationship between the two of them, which is clearly why he has no respect for women. He's pretty much he's putting his mother's face on these women. That's what he's doing. I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing the same thing to you, putting her face onto you. So anything he felt towards his mother, any resentment and anger and hatred or what have you that he felt towards his mother, he was probably projecting that onto you. Especially if you didn't do anything. That's the one thing I say. If you didn't do anything, to deserve this type of treatment, it's like, come on, you would, like, literally, if I were to sleep with my ex's best friend while I was with him, I'd expect him to be pissed off at me. I'd expect him to curse me out. I'd expect him to call me all kinds of names. Almost hit my lip. All kinds of names in the book. I'd expect him to feel that way. That, yes, I would expect. But not if I treated him with respect and I showed him loyalty and love and fairness and kindness to get treated that way. Man, listen. Yeah, Sergio, it's a good thing that you ended up just calling it quits and just leaving it be, because in some cases you got to also be careful. As much as we want to sit here and be like, oh, we want to be like, oh, we can react towards an action. We can react because we feel we have the right to. You got to be careful with that, because these kinds of people can set shit up, and they can set things up to the point where they're setting you up. You understand? So be very, very careful with that. Yeah. These people will expect you to fight. They will expect you to get belligerent. They'll expect you to get out of character. These are the same kind of people that will start some shit. And then if you pull up and you're like, okay, what's really good? They'll call the cops. They set them up and you knock them down. Don't play their game. Do not play their game. All right? Because they will do any and everything possible. They'll do any and everything possible to get you into a position that you really shouldn't be in. Okay? I need another one of these. It's no, this is open. If you don't mind the bag, I think I left the bag in the. But yeah, no, don't let them set you up for that. Do not let them set you up for that, guys. All right, they will try their best to bait you. That's the thing. Especially if they know that, and when it boils down to, listen, I've always been one that says, say what you will. I don't care. I really don't, words are words. It is what it is. If I don't take it personal, then it can't exist in my reality. So you can say what you want about me. I have people say all kinds of crap about me, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean anything to me. If it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't exist in your reality. And if it doesn't exist, you can't find a place to take it personal. Yeah, Sergio, that's primarily why. That's primarily why they do things. They push the envelope so you can react. Maybe your other family members can react. And this is all to get you to. Oh, Sergio, thank you for that, sweetheart. Thank you. This is to get you to jump out of character so you can do something, physically, physically assault. They don't mind if you try to assault them, or if you even try to, harm them in any way, because they know eventually that it's gonna that coin is gonna flip on your side again. So not only did they get the reaction that they wanted out of you, but they get the outcome that they wanted also. They get to, just like you said, lock you up. They get to call the cops and boom, you're locked up. It's not worth it. Sweetheart, thank you. Yes, Robert says they already have a plan in place. They don't do things without setting things up first. Everything has to be set up first. All right. And keep in mind, guys, these are the kind of people that do this stuff to their own kids. They do this kind of stuff to their own kids all the time. Okay. You have narcissistic parents who rob their kids blind for years, robbing them blind, all while they're doing it undercover. And then if their children, whether younger or old enough, when they're asking them questions or they're, trying to figure out, what's what, all they got to do is gaslight them, because they run with the narrative of, I'm your parent. Everything I do is in your best interest. It's within your best interest. So what I'm doing is to benefit you. The reality is what I'm doing is to benefit me. It's to benefit me. One second. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Cicely, okay, joked about calling her 6-year-old son fat ass. She acted like it was a joke, but it didn't seem right. Their jokes are, they like to sting people, but of course they can't let people see that, they're being insulting as opposed to being funny. You don't, especially with your kids, man, you don't sit there and erode their self-esteem. You don't undermine their confidence within themselves, because they take that, they absorb all of that. They'll sit there, and if you have a parent who's like, oh, you're a dummy, you're stupid, you won't amount to anything, things like that. Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you, sweetheart. Guys, thank you so much for the donations. I appreciate it. I do, and even if listen, I do it for you guys. Okay. I do it for you guys, but I thank you so much. All of this goes to the channel. So I gotta get a new phone. I have to get a new phone. I'm going to get a new phone. I had this thing. I use my phones until I can't use them anymore. And then I upgrade to a new one. And I need to get a new one because I need more space, because I'm working on another project, and it's content for the channel, and I know it's going to take up a lot of my my video space, so I definitely have to get a new phone for the Yeah, Sergio. Their jokes have horrible taste. And it's because they're not joking. They just cover it with that. They mask it. They're like, "Oh, I was just joking." They'll say some hurtful things. They'll say hurtful things. They'll say it in public, or even in private, and they'll mask it with, "I was just joking. You're insensitive. You're so sensitive. Stop it. You take things too seriously. I can't joke with you because you always take it to the next." Trust in what I say. There's some hardcore feelings in those things that they say. You know what, time? My phone already has, but it's like a hairline, right? They're like hairline cracks. A hairline. It fell. My phone has fallen all over the place. And the crazy part is that it's, usually it's been durable, but this time it fell on a ceramic tiling, and it fell face down. I was like, oh, sweet jeez. But when I looked at it, it was a hairline. Their hairline cracks. So, and I need to get a new phone anyway because I have to I need more space. I need more space. You know that the outer boxes are like too bulky and big because I always pull my phone in my pocket. So I've had an outer box before. I've had one of those before. It was so damn big. That's why I don't get like the pros, the iPhone Pros. I don't get those huge phones. I might as well walk around with an iPad and hold it to my ear. Like I can't. They're all the same. Every iPhone is the freaking same. The only reason I get it is because each time I upgrade, I get more storage. I get more space. But if you look at the functions, they're all the same. It's like, and I go, and you get an iPhone Pro for what? I have a huge phone in my hand that I got to hold with both hands. No, I'm good. When was the last time I taken pictures?
Your video. Now that you do the video stuff.
Guys, here's what I need. I need, if you could recommend, actually, I want to get a camera. A camera. Mm-hmm. The kind of like that most YouTubers, vlogging camera. Okay. If there's any type that you can recommend for me, so I can look for them. That way I can separate. I can just keep a camera for my content and then my phone for me. Okay. And that way I won't get stuck with, interrupting phone calls and things like that. I could just do it all from the camera. Robert, you say Android ever again? I will not use an Android. Okay. I don't know how to turn those things on. I don't know how to function those things. And when it comes to the code thing, that zigzag crap, no, I won't do it. I'm a simple person. Give me a 4-digit code. I'm good. I don't like Androids. I don't like, and no offense to you Android users. I mean, if you guys like Androids, that's great. I personally, I don't mess with Androids. Very complicated phones. Very complicated. I don't know, yeah, whatever. No Androids. I deal with Apple products only. That's all I deal with is Apple products. But yeah, if you can recommend a good vlogging camera, like, I guess, what is it? HD or 4K? Either or, HD, 4K, whichever. And Ty, Sergio, Robert. I don't know how to turn on an Android phone. I don't. My sister had an Android phone and she's like, Erica, can you turn my phone on for me? And I'm looking at it like, where's the button for it?
See me, I'm not saying nothing.
It took me a while to get used to using the iPhone that didn't have the button at the bottom. When they started making the new iPhones and we had in the old ones, we had the buttons at the bottom. I was like, what the hell do I press? I love you guys too. Listen, you guys stay with the green bubbles. We'll have the blue and gray bubbles. And the only problem is when video quality between Android and Apple. Because when Sean's father sends me videos of him, I swear it looks like a video from 1975.
We'll be taking out the good pictures.
No, I'm not dealing with it. But yeah, please, guys, if you can recommend or if you can help research vlogging cameras. I need cameras that I can use. I rarely have time. I've been so freaking tired that work has just been so much and, taking care of so much at home. But I appreciate anyone who can help get me that information. But yeah, guys, unfortunately, dealing with these people is, and the thing is that it's a never ending thing. It's going to be a never ending thing because, each day, each minute, each moment, a new victim is being trauma bonded, being discarded, being verbally abused, being, emotionally, psychologically, physically abused, you it's going to be a never ending thing. But the more we create awareness and the more we help people in understanding the patterns and behaviors and, the phrases, a lot of the phrases that they use or the way they would use these phrases, we have to really, really help people understand that, you know, there are people like this in the world, but it doesn't mean that you have to deal with them. It doesn't mean that you have to be affiliated with them, that you have to be around them. And please don't, please, 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 please do not for a second run with the idea, well, if I don't associate with them or if I decide to never speak to them again, that makes me bitter. No, that makes you smart. It makes you smart. Okay? You forgive in your own time. You can forgive. You don't have to forget. I think it's really impossible, hard to forget something like that. What you go through with someone who, is classified as a narc or has extreme narcissistic tendencies. You don't forget those things, but you can forgive when you're ready to and move on. Move on. Even if they try to come around and say, oh, well, if you truly forgave me, then I don't understand why we can't be friends, or why can't we? Friends like you, who needs enemies? Who needs enemies? The difference between an enemy and a narcissist is that a true enemy, listen, they'll let themselves be known. You'll know an enemy when you see one. With a narcissistic person, they're chameleons. They're chameleons. They'll smile in your face, but they will talk crap behind your back. They'll smile in your face, but they'll talk to the people who you don't get along with. They'll talk to them. They'll associate with them, building up all types of cliques or what have you to go against you. It's like, and all because of what? Because you decided not to deal with them? You decided to walk away? Or you decided that, I see a little too much of your BS and I'm not being a part of that. It's not worth it. Absolutely, Ty. Nope, you never forget. You never forget. Well, Stella, they're nice to everyone, but in private, it's abuse because they have that image to uphold. They're abusive towards you because they know that you're conforming to what it is they want. So because of the fact that you want them, you wanted the relationship with them, you wanted things to work, you wanted things to go back to the way they used to be, you wanted all of these things, they know that's what you want. They know that that's what you're waiting for, that someday it's going to happen. And because they know this, they continuously love bomb you in between. They give you the false hopes that things are going to change, because just when you're at the brink of, complete and utter, destruction, then they come in with a new face. I love you. I'm sorry, blah, 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 bringing you flowers and candies and all that stuff. But behind closed doors, this is where they get away with a lot of stuff because nobody can see them. Nobody can vouch for you. Nobody can validate what you've endured or what it is you were talking about. Nobody will be able to validate that. See, the problem, this is what I'm working on with my project. The problem with the outside world is those who don't really understand what this type of abusive relationship is, they look at it as it's like faith by sight. They have to physically see that you are being abused. And a lot of people only really correlate abuse with physical abuse. It's like, okay, well, how can you prove someone was emotionally abusive? How can you prove someone was verbally abusive, psychologically abusive? How can you prove that? If there's no one there, there's absolutely no one there. How can you prove that to people? The only abuse that shows that is physically evident is physical abuse. abuses, bruises, marks, you name it. That's the only type of abuse that is physically noticeable. And the reason emotional, because listen, people can say, oh, well, you can tell when someone's being emotionally abused. Tell that to all the victims that ended up dying at the hands of those perpetrators who've been crying out for help and trying to get help, and yet nobody believed them. Nobody validated them. These same victims who ended up dead because nobody was listening to them. So because you can't physically prove emotional and psychological abuse, you can only show that you're crazy because now you're being reactive towards their blatant abuse, even publicly, because they mask that abuse, that public abuse, with all other forms of manipulation, because they've already set the scene, telling people that, you're toxic and you are the verbally abusive one and you're the one who's, causing problems, and this is why you guys can't be together anymore. And the crazy part is, guys, they're doing all of this. It's funny. They will set up the scene in giving the impression to the world that this is who you are and this is how it is. But behind the scenes, they're breadcrumbing you. And they're telling you maybe. They're telling you we'll see. They're telling you possibly. They're breadcrumbing you. They're bullshitting in between, simultaneously, on both ends. Now, yes, Sergio, out of the blue, she sent me a message with just thank you. Was that a Hoover? I didn't reply, of course. That was a Hoover attempt. That was an attempt to get you to respond. Yeah. Yeah, that's, when they send, this is why I say change your numbers if you can, guys. Anyone who's new to it, change your numbers. Change your numbers. If you can do it, change your phone numbers. Okay? Because so as long as they have that communication with you, they have that open access, it won't stop. They'll sit there and they'll send text messages pretending that it was for someone else. They'll send it to you. Oh, baby, I love you, blah, blah, blah. They'll send it to you. And then they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to send it to you. I meant to send it to my man, or I meant to send it to my woman. Come on, man. Come on. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. Yeah. Robert says their public image is key, but have control at home. But if you refuse this, they don't have a foot to stand on. Yeah, because if you're taking back your control, you're taking back your power, you're not feeding into them. It's like for people who've dealt with continuous cycles with the same person. They manage to get away with so much, and then eventually you put your foot down and you're like, no. There's back and forth, breaking up, making up, breaking up, making up. No, I'm done. And then they look at you with audacity like, you're done with me? How dare you? You let me get away. I mean, they may not say it flat out to you, but you let me get away with so much stuff in the past. And now all of a sudden, if they were emasculating you, fellas or ladies, if they were using you, they were lying, you let them get away with so much. And then when push came to shove and you decided, no, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing this again with you. I'm not going through this again with you. What happens? What happens? Now that you rejected them, now they're pissed. They get pissed off. They get extremely pissed off. How dare you reject me? How dare you not deal with my manipulation and my hurt, my hurtful ways and my How dare you? Or they'll try to charm you. They'll try to charm you back in. They might try to use sex. They might try to find ways to get you to lower your guard a bit. You know, you loved them once, right? So if you loved them once, what's to say that, you couldn't love them again? And unfortunately, a lot of people have fallen for this. A lot. Sergio, it was through Talking Parents app court orders. And you know what? Someone else I know is doing the same thing. And that's a really good idea. I think that's a really good idea to utilize an app so you can change your phone number, right? And all you have to do is utilize an app to communicate with the other parent of your children for the sole purpose of your children, where that conversation gets transcribed. Best invention I've ever heard of. Best invention I ever heard of. I don't know if New York has that. I don't know if I'll have to see. I have to see. But I think that's the best way to go. That's the best way to go. I think people who are co-parenting with narcissists, I give it to you, because it takes a lot of patience. It takes strength.
Yes.
They have it here?
Yes.
Oh, New York has it too. They have it too. See? And it's ordered by the court.
No, it's just an application you can download.
Well, look at that. That's the best way to do it. Get transcribed, but it has to be ordered by the court. So in other words, the court has to order it in order for it to be legal, because it's being recorded. The court has to order that you can utilize the app for the sole purpose of communicating with the other parent for the children. So that definitely works for me. And that's a good way to protect, the parents who had gone through the narcissistic abuse. Get that. All right. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you have children, it transcribes everything. It transcribes everything to protect you within the court, family court. It transcribes everything to show that if that person slips, or if their mask slips, and boom, it's recorded. It keeps track of transfers of money. So if you transfer money to the person for your children, if they try to take you to court, listen, one thing I could say about today's society is that they're coming up with a lot of great inventions, a lot of great things that'll help people in the justice system. So I'm for it. I'm for it.
And what's good there is that those messages can't be edited. Like, so,
Oh, look at that.
there's things that, like, the other parents said, well, he said this. Those text messages can't be edited or deleted.
Even better.
So everything is kept timeline-wise.
Even better. I think I might put the link, and just like on my.
They just have to go to their applications, so whether it's an Android or iPhone.
Can you screenshot it and send me? I'm gonna put that on my content as well. Just make sure that, again, if you are co-parenting with a narcissist, anyone who sees the video on the stream, if you're co-parenting with a narcissist or someone you believe to be, find out through your lawyer if it could be utilized, because again, if it's a court order, that's the only way it's going to properly enforce the usage of this app. It has to be ordered by the court. Okay? It has to be a judge saying that the two of you need to use this app to communicate further with one another from this point on, and keep track and record of every single bit of conversation that you have, because they will not comply if it's voluntary. It has to be by a court order. So I'm going to include that as well for anybody who co-parents with with a narcissist, so you can speak with your lawyer with regards to it. If you're dealing with, divorce, if you're dealing with separation, if you're dealing with child, custody battles or what have you, I'm going to put that as well. I'm going to put that on all of my videos and under all of the chats. But guys. Oh my gosh, guys. Well, there was something else. I knew there was something else I wanted to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about it on TikTok. And I just had it's just been such a long day. It has so been. I got to relax a little bit today, guys. I did get to relax. But I was like, I know I have to be online because I promised. I like to keep my promises. And I'm glad I came tonight. I'm glad you guys came tonight. And, for anyone who didn't get to show up during the live stream, love you anyway. I still love you. Okay, Amanda's also putting the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to, check it out, by all means, please do so. I like the fact that they're coming up with different ways to help people who are dealing with the struggles and dealing with the motions of it all. So it's, it's just really, really important, guys. And please, just a side note, guys, and I don't want to again, I'm going to give a little bit of a trigger warning. Be very careful. Be extremely careful with, with who you're dealing with and how you're dealing with things, how you're managing things. I'm in New York, and I don't know if you guys are familiar. Sergio, actually, I do have a podcast. I do, and actually working on this project, I'm going to put it on my podcast as well. But I do have one. I do. I just haven't had I have so many different platforms. I haven't had a chance to really update it. But I actually do have that as well. But what happened now? Oh, Amanda's posting the link to my podcast too. I do have that as well. But yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that, I live in New York, and I don't know if you've heard, a lot of the news. I mean, listen, it's, throughout the country, but New York has really seen its really big share of, violent crimes, especially in the past couple of years. Like the crime rate has really gone up over here. Extremely, really gone up over here. And, you have a lot of different people, unrelated, going through crimes that are just, unrelated, meaning that they're, just random acts of violence that are going on in the streets. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of the situation about what happened recently in the subway with the gentleman who, gassed up, gas bombed the subway and was shooting at people in broad daylight, 8:30 in the morning. Lost his freaking mind. Thankfully, they caught him. But, there are just so many different things going on out here. And considering the society, like how it is going on now, the way everything is just so much random violence going on, we have to really, really be very, very careful with who we deal with. Mental health has become a serious problem in this country. And, the lack of effective, and just really, it's more so effective, the lack of help that people are getting, because the mental health illnesses, mental issues, period, it's not really being addressed the way it needs to be. It really isn't. And we have a lot of people who suffer mental illnesses, who suffer a lot of these problems. Hi, Heather. Hi, sweetheart. That's okay, love. We have, yeah, Sergio. It was they thankfully they caught him, and I think they have him remanded. He has no bond. He's not released, and he's undergoing, I think, psych evaluation. But the system, it just like when I look at the different systems that we have built, the child protective services, mental health, the criminal justice system, it's like, it's just failing. It's completely failing. And Amanda showed me an article that was just recent, right?
And
This afternoon. They found a woman dead. I don't know if it was, complete or, pieces. They found her in a duffel bag in a park in Queens that is a very long, stretched out park, which means that it like starts from my end where I'm at all the way down towards like going damn near towards Brooklyn. And they found a duffel bag with a woman stuffed in it. I don't know what the reason is, but crimes like this, crimes of passion, crimes of, where it's because things like this, it just seems more personal. It could mean maybe it wasn't, but it seemed more personal for me that in that the person who probably committed this act clearly, knew the person. But you have different crimes, like you just crimes of passion. I told you guys about, not long ago, right around the corner from where I live, a man, hacked his girlfriend to death in her apartment. Please be careful. Please be careful. Please allow this experience to really teach you that, you have to use discernment. You have to really, learn when to pick your battles. And you have to really just say, sometimes things are just not worth it. Sometimes if you see a red flag, you think to yourself, maybe I can overcome this. No, but that little red flag eventually becomes a bigger one and a bigger one and a bigger one and much bigger over time. Okay. There's just too much going on in the world today for us to be taking things lightly, to be, nonchalant about things. There's way too much going on. Okay. And I say this on both sides of the coin because these people, these narcissistic individuals, these narcissists, they don't really think for a second that they could be that person in a duffel bag. Like they don't think about that. They don't think about that. They don't think that someone, you know, they playing the game with someone who does not like to play can actually snap and seriously harm them, hurt them, put their hands on them to the point that they're not putting, that they're not stopping until they've taken their last breath out of them. They're not thinking about that. Okay. And that's something that we have to really, really take into consideration. You know, there's just too many victims, man. There's too many victims. And this level of violence is just, I'm like, so honestly, I'm to the point I don't even want to take my son outside. That's how bad it's getting out here. I don't even want to take my son. It's like school, home, school, home. And my son, he takes a bus. Thankfully, it's a school bus. It's a regular school bus. He takes it, where he's watched and monitored from home to school and back. You know, it's to that point because if you can't even take your own children outside to enjoy themselves during the summertime, to take them to the city and go to the movies and go places, it's gotten so dangerous. And now to hear what happened over here, be very, very careful. Please be very careful. And I say this, and honestly, I say this to narcissistic people too, because I know quite a few of them pass through. I know quite a few of them watch these videos. Listen, you're not God. You are not God. You cannot dodge a bullet. Okay? You cannot sit here and say, I can do whatever the hell it is I want and give to people all kinds of bull and nonsense and project onto people and not pay the consequences, not suffer the consequences. You can't do that. Okay? Ten cuidado. Be very careful, because what you put out into this world is what you get back. And sometimes you may get it back 10 times worse. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be a narcissist. Sometimes you need to just learn how to bite the bullet and say, I'm wrong. I take accountability. I need help. Because that same game that you run on certain people who manage to walk away is the same game that you're going to run on somebody who's not going to walk away, but who's actually going to take it out on you. And they're actually going to do something worse. So think about it. Think long and hard about it. That's what I'm going to say about that. Oh, Stella, move to Canada. I would love to move to Canada. I would love to move to Canada. Go to Canada. Yeah, my Robert, my brother lives in Texas. He's actually coming to visit in May. He's been out there for the past 4 or 5 years now. It's gotten so bad out here, guys. It really has gotten so bad out here, like to the point that, you know, you step outside your doorstep and you gotta carry something on you, because you just don't know. You just do not know. And me being a woman, I'm a woman, and listen, don't get me wrong. I have things within the law. I know law enforcement watches too. I have things that are within the law that I can use to protect myself. And that's simply because I have to. I have to get these things. It can happen to men, but women are more vulnerable, especially if you have a group of people or people who look at a woman like, oh, they're weak, So if you need to get whatever it is that's necessary to protect yourself, but of course, that's within the your legal rights, don't I'm not saying walk around with a butcher knife or anything like that. No, you can't do that. But yeah, yes, Robert, getting a gun permit out here I have a better chance of getting a gun permit in Texas than I would up here, because New York is so strict with getting a permit. It's like they go through layers and layers and layers and layers of your background just to be able to, for you to have that. So yeah, and Heather, if it's well within your legal rights, because we do have the right to bear arms. It's our constitutional right. It's our constitutional right. We have the right to bear arms. And as long as it's not concealed, that's the thing. Okay. A concealed weapon is considered, especially, like, I've had people who've come from other states, who've come from Texas, who've come from California, who've come from, Florida, what have you, and they have permits. They enter the state of New York, they have permits for these guns, but once they hit New York lines, New York doesn't care where your permit's from. They don't care. You know how many people have gotten locked up with their permits? Granted, the cases eventually, but that's money, that's time, that's lawyers. It's not worth it. Really isn't worth it. Yeah, I would say, listen, at the end of the day, do what you need to do to protect yourself. And as long as you're not going out there, starting any trouble with anybody else, but you're doing what you have to do to protect you and yours, by all means, do what is necessary. Within your legal rights, do what is necessary. Because shit is getting crazy out there, guys. Shit is getting crazy, okay? I got a little bit more to worry about with regards to my son's safety than I have to be sitting here wondering if someone is cheating on me, or if someone is manipulating me, or if someone's lying to me, or if someone's going to try to hoover me. Man, listen. Try to hoover me back in if you want to. You're going to hoover in a shovel. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Stella, because Canada's Canada. You guys are good. You guys are the neutral country. You're like, listen, we don't mess with nobody. Nobody messes with us. We're good. We up here, we good. That's it. I heard Canada is like the residents, the citizens out there. You guys are pretty nice. Very chilled and laid back, and I think that's why a lot of Americans move up there, because It's just a totally different setup. Oh yeah, no, I'm like, listen, I got no time for nobody's nonsense. Stella, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. And it's completely, it would be definitely be a change of pace from New York. You know, I mean, I love my hometown. I was born and raised out here. You know, I learned how to live in survival mode. I had to. I grew up in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods, you know, but you know, it did teach me, it taught me how to maneuver, it taught me how to survive, it taught me how to be humble, you know, it taught me how to appreciate what I have. I'm gonna be 40 years old. I'm ready to get the hell up out of here. I wanted my son out of here by the time he was in high school. That did not happen. But it's getting too bad. It's really getting too bad out here. And, you know, I don't get into politics. I really don't, but it's just not, it's getting bad. It's not getting better. And, you know, this is just, all I can do is pray. That's all I can do. Sergio, they are changing for the worse, which is why it's like my mind is so much more focused on what's more important than having to be focused on or deal with people or, you know, someone who doesn't value life, doesn't value other people's lives, doesn't value anything. They don't value anything. They don't even value themselves. They're just selfish in their own ways. Let them continue being selfish and let them run that game on somebody else, because at the end of the day, they keep that shit up. They're gonna see for themselves what kind of violence there is out there. I'm not going to be entertaining anything like that anytime soon. Yep, Heather says prices are going up. Yep, they are. They are. Like it's when COVID hit, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people couldn't afford their apartments, their homes. It really hit, like it hit really, really big. And I think, you know, in the midst of this pandemic, then we had the bail reform, you know, which is by far the most ridiculous thing that our state could even impose, because with the bail reform, that meant that, you know, offenders could be repeat offenders if their offenses were under a certain, you know, within a certain degree or a certain category, they could be released on their own recognizances. Or the, you know, family members can sign a pretty much a promissory note to the court. Well, you know, this person got arrested for carrying a handgun, but you know, if they don't go to court, don't worry, we'll pay you back. The bail reform really screwed us up. It really screwed us up, because a lot of people who were repeat offenders, multiple offenders, were getting released. They were being released, or, you know, the crimes that they were committing, certain robbery crimes, people got released. Vehicular crimes, you know, it got really, really, really bad, really bad. Okay, to the point that people were afraid to leave their homes. People were like, you know, people were vulnerable to what, you know, there was somebody who was in Brooklyn. She went on a freaking assault spree. She was assaulting people. I believe it was like the Canarsie side of Brooklyn, assaulting people. They locked her up. Police locked her up. They brought her to court, arraigned her. 4 hours later, she was back out on the streets, assaulted more people. This is what the bail reform does. It lets repeat offender, they just come out and continue to repeat the offenses. And then when you have law-abiding citizens who are just simply trying to protect themselves, if they end up doing something because someone is threatening them, they end up assaulting these people, or God forbid, killing these people because they were trying to protect themselves, they end up going to jail. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Everything is ass backwards. The more I feel it, the more it feels like hell. It really does. It really does, guys. It really does. I just can't. This world is just, the time is near, man. It really is near. So people, you know, just continue to do right by God. Continue to, follow in your true selves, your genuine selves. Continue to protect yourselves, protect your surroundings, your children, your peace, everything. And, just keep praying. Keep praying. Yep. See, that's when someone gives that woman street justice, and then there's a problem. All I know is I protect myself. I have to. I have a son I have to get home to every day. Okay. I got a son I got to raise, and I got to make sure that he's good. And in order for me to do that, I got to be good. So, we do what we have to do out here. We definitely do. But guys, all right, Ty. Oh yeah, absolutely, Sergio. The devil's been running around this earth for quite some time. Okay, and it just, we have free will. Okay, we have free will. We choose who we serve. We choose who we serve. All right, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's just the way it is. Okay, so just choose who it is that you serve, and just understand that depending on who it is that you serve, the outcome of your life is gonna be in favor of that master. That's all I can say. That is all I can say. Okay, guys, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for letting me rant. Thank you for letting me get it out. It's just be very careful, guys. Please be very careful. We're living in dangerous times, and we need to we definitely need to open up our eyes. Really open up our eyes. All right. Thank you, Stella. Yes, guys, I hope you all have a very happy Easter. If you celebrate Easter, have a wonderful Easter. Okay. And I will be back on TikTok. When is it? Tuesday, right? Wednesday? Wednesday. I will be on TikTok on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday. So if you guys haven't already, please go follow me on TikTok. All right. Narc Survival 101. It's also in the description box. So you guys can catch me on there. We talk some more stuff. And, you can help other people. There's a lot of people who join on TikTok. You can help them with your experience and help giving them advice. And you'll be helping me out because there are a lot of people, trust me. And absolutely. Absolutely. But I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful Easter, wonderful rest of your weekend. And just remember what I say, guys. All right. Your peace is priority, your protection, all that good stuff. All right. These people don't need any more of your attention. They don't need any more of your validation. They don't need any more ego stroking. They don't need none of it. They really don't. All right. Oh, have a beautiful Easter. Thank you, Stella. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So again, guys, thank you again for being here tonight. Thank you for being with me. I love you all. I hope you all have a beautiful remainder of your weekend. If you need me, you know where to find me. And I promise this time I won't postpone the live. I will be on as, regularly scheduled, of course, unless something does come up that it's an emergency. I will be back here on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what else? I mean, that's pretty much it, right? All right, my loves, thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful night. Be safe, love, peace, God's blessings, protection, all of that good stuff. And again, if you need me, you know where to find me. All right, guys? Have a great night. See you next week.